Here we go with Hannibal, Season 3, Episode 3. And assuming that this entire series is not some Newhart-esque fever dream, what do I think is going to happen next? So I think Will and Hannibal are going to meet up. But I don't understand how they get back to the US because, one, Hannibal is clearly wanted for multiple murders and attempted murder. So I don't see how that is possible. And, what could Will possibly say to him to convince him? Or if they never go back to the US, or this entire thing is a fever dream and what does anything matter anyway? That's how I feel. Let's get into the episode. Ah, yes, back with Dr. Du Maurier. Does she know about Will? What are her thoughts? What is anyone's game plan here? What is endgame for this show? I'm getting a little bit frustrated. Let's just watch and find out. Is it an interesting point that he told her that Will is in town? Okay, and what is Hannibal going to say about this? What does that mean about what is going to happen? Watch the show. Just watch the show. What happens with Will and Hannibal in this show? Because there are plenty of shows that have two male characters who it's like, come on now, clearly, and yet nothing ever really happens. There's solid hints at it, but nothing ever really happens. And this show, where I've said it before, I am someone to ship couples when I see it. I just don't think that it would work with them. And I also think that it doesn't have to be a typical relationship, though. I mean, it's obviously not. But I just... And yet the show the show itself is starting more and more to reference it pretty directly. Which is new for me. Which is not a bad thing. It's odd. Okay, it's odd for me to see a show actually acknowledge somewhat of a couple that I don't see. I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know what this means. I know that there's a lot of fandom meta about this that I was not a part of at the time, but I know it exists because I know what fandom is. Where is this gonna go? Where is this gonna take me? And by the way, do not tell me. I want to find out on my own, so do not tell me. I said home right before he said home. I was thinking, cause I was like, if Will goes home, if Will goes back to the U.S., Hannibal, what's she gonna do about it? I know I just said I don't see them as a couple, and I stand by that. I also stand by what I just said. The Lecter family home? Tell me your secrets. Home may have been an understatement. Wait a minute, god damn it, is this what they meant by home? Fooled a fucking again. Honestly, would it be the Lecter estate if it didn't have a graveyard? Okay, what's the over-under that there is a gravestone there with the name Hannibal Lecter on it? Oh, the sister. Okay. Okay. He's maybe trying to use the sister to pull him out a little bit. Might work. Might not. I'm sorry, sir. You're just gonna show up? You're just gonna show up while he's just in a lounge chair viewing your castle? You're just gonna pop up? Hello. I need to stop saying anything because every time I do, I'm wrong. There's no way they're actually back in the US, right? Well, who is this lady? What is there to say about this little dinner party? So that guy doesn't like Hannibal, but I think likes Hannibal. Well, not anymore because he's dead. And I just. The show is an odd way of making murder and cannibalism domestic. I could understand if he was doing this to draw Will to him, but who is the all of them that she's referring to? Is that Jack Crawford, back from the dead? Well, I could say yes, or I could say wait 5 minutes. I assume that Jack is no longer an FBI agent. And so I assume that learning that Will is in Italy, or in Europe, he has gone to Europe to bring him home, because that would be best for him. And I think he's under the impression that as long as Hannibal is in Italy, it's sort of Italy's problem, which I understand. How long is Will expecting to just hang out in the forest? Those seem like awfully large fireflies. Oh, look at that. A magical fountain in the middle of an ancient wood on the edge of a storied estate. What could go wrong? That fountain's not filled with bodies, is it? That's also an extraordinary number of fireflies to be in one place. There's a prisoner in the dungeon. Who is she? What is going on here? How do you know Hannibal? One could argue intimately. Well, I suppose one could. He's healing quite nicely. Could she be his daughter? I've never known myself as well as I know myself when I'm with him. I guess I just have to throw my hands up and just be like, okay. I don't know whether or not Hannibal killed his sister, but I'm leaning toward no. Although I couldn't tell you why. I think that man needs a hospital, Will. Okay, so here's my guess, which, as we all know, is probably wrong. So she obviously didn't know that Will set that guy free, but if he's back in the cage, that means it's not locked, which means that I think he's going to attack her. I hope she doesn't die. The odds are not good. So I want to say that assuming this is actually happening, I may be getting better at this, but I may be getting ahead of myself. Wait a minute. Did Will do that on purpose? Because he obviously had an opportunity to get that man out of there actually, which he did not do. Well, and here he comes, strolling on in like, oh, what happened? Why would he do this? Why is this something that is important to him? Unless it is somehow important to, or something that can be used against, or Hannibal. I don't know who this woman is to him, but pushing her will push Hannibal. And of course, that's what this is about for Will. Will, I have to say, I find this behavior concerning. Is it possible that she is Misha's daughter, if not Hannibal's? Will, what have you done? I don't think I have my sweet Hufflepuff anymore. I think he's gone. Hannibal, I sincerely hope that you don't. Okay, that's the end of episode 3. This is getting a little depressing, I must say. So, I mean, okay, but we're in the beginning of the season. Where we are now does not mean this is where we have to end up. The show goes wherever it wants to go, so I will let it do that. I would rather that Will Graham is alive at the end of it. I'll say that right now. I don't want him to die. Like, what the heck is the point? Like, I mean, I know this is not. The title of the show is not Will Graham, it's Hannibal. Hannibal is a cannibal. That's the whole point, basically. So,